fucking a few times and I'm just like, call me fucking Buds again! Fucking, we got a buddy of ours, he comes by all the time, he's like, oh fuck my old lady, I'm gonna kill her. What's the problem, bro? She calls me fucking Buds. Oh, fuck that. So now me and Mike call each other Buds. All day.
All day long.
Yeah. I'll just call you fucking Buds. I'll fucking stab you in the eye. You just got anything else going on out here? You just out here having a smoke? Smoking like this? Yeah.
Has a piss, and then he's having a smoke, and I thought even
then he's just standing there having a smoke.
No,
I think myself, is this
fucking some guy stopped there.
Then I thought, oh, fuck, right out front. Then I thought, oh, fuck, maybe he's a customer of Joe's or waiting for you or something. But, you know, just some fucking rummy. No, just some fucking piss tank, right? No, it's just some fucking old fucking drunk fucking, you know. Yeah, son, the rebate, boy. At a different time in my life, I would have done that. Happily. So on your steering head bearings, right, they're a Timken style bearing, right? So it's two piece. So you got your race, and you got your bearing and race. So how that's sitting is like so, top and bottom, moving back and forth, right? Lots of grease and everything else in there. So this should, by all means, move nice and smooth, right? But the fact that, because these springers are fucking big old fat tanks, they get notched going straight forward, right? From riding.
Okay, from riding.
Right?
All right.
Well, not from fucking sitting.
All right, I didn't know.
Right? So, now we got a steering head bearing job we got to do. So we'll replace steering head bearings. Like I said, we're going to take this lowering kit out and put in stock springs. And then we're going to put the lowering kit in down here when we service the bearings and the springs down here at the lower shock. Or at the lower rockers. Okay? So, we'll get on this tutti frutti. Okay, so this bearing got to come off because this bearing no good no more. Right? We had that notchiness in the front end that we were talking about. So these here bearings have lived their life. They've come to the end of it. So now it's time to swap these guys out. We've already swapped out the races. So we're just gonna get our handy dandy Motion Pro race remover, pop this sucker off, slap a new one in there nice and lubed up, and get that back in there so we can get started on doing the spring spacer to protect the steering stem.
Smash, smash.
Yep, shmammy, shmammy. Next, we do the springs and the rockers. Okay. Now we're going to compress the springs. So another Motion Pro tool, but we take the nice bearing out of our wheel bearing kit just to make it a little bit easier on compressing. And now it's basically just compress these springs, pop these guys off. So get a couple of zip ties, zip tie your legs. Taking the spring pressure, right? Like we had to compress it to take these springs off. So now we got to decompress it so we can get at these springs and take them off. Right, get these here upper springs off, get these here lower guys off. At the same time, we're going to be popping these here guys off anyways for the new
Speed Dealer Customs
Speed Dealer.
kit, right?
That's right, the new Speed Dealer lowering kit. But just as per following, follow the manual. Basically, it tells you, hey, you gotta take these apart, you gotta put these together, right?
What's going on, Uncle Luke?
Spring your shit, Booch. Spring your shit. It just feels like home. Fuck off, I'll stab you. Brother. Alright, so let's get the fucking zip ties. Let's cut these bastards off. Fork off.
Fork off.
Fork off, eh? So, their bearing still feels good. This one here. Alright, so we're gonna have to actually see if we have to service this bearing or not. There we go, spare part. Now we'll get some of this fucking shit we don't need out of the way. We'll get some of the shit we do need to put in the way. We'll get these guys cleaned up and we'll fucking come back with fucking put this shit together fucking video in a second.
What's going on?
Reassembly, baby. Let's get this shit the fuck back together. So, some stock shit here. Should be. These are the uppers, so we're just getting ready to compress the springs now that we've replaced all the springs. So now we'll replace these here. Fresh springs all around. And then next we'll be replacing the lower rockers. Braces. So our old brace has to come out of our adjusters. So we'll be tapping those guys out. Pop the new guys in, everything else bolts right in, and these are our new compared to our old locker. The way this set up, it gives an inch lower while giving us the stock travel. These happening, so we'll start knocking these guys out next, and we'll get them installed. So there's your old one, crusty, looking like a bag of shit. Here's a nice new one. Slap her in there. So we'll knock this guy out next. We'll slap in that new one, and then we'll bring on with getting this fucker together. Guy out. Now we're just gonna press this guy in, and if you can see, we're not using the shop press today. We don't really need it for something small like that. We can use, if you've got a vise, just put it in between a couple of pieces of aluminum, give it a little squish in there. We're using our handy dandy cup kit. We'll make ourselves a little cup sandwich, put it in the rice, stomp her down, get the fucking go. Okay, so here we go. Put it in the vise, and one quick twist, bang, we're in. Don't go too hard. Okay, so basically what we're doing is we're just trying to tighten them up enough so that way we can then slide on our rocker pinion bolts. Now that we know we got our legs stable, we can now finish fucking cranking down on this fucking monster up here, and let's get our uppers in place, okay? Let's fucking Andy sees this bitch. $750,000. And crank down until we got 3/4 of an inch of threads here. So let's put it this way, man. Everything when it comes down to your suspension has to be done in even increments. Okay, you know, right down to full foil. You got a guy that's like, oh no, we can just eyeball this much into it, and it's like, no, man. There's a measurement to it. There's a method to the madness. Any extra can adversely affect handling. Any less can totally make your shit too sloppy to fucking handle it all. So, put it this way, my man, they put fucking factory specs there for a reason. So, it's not for us to question them, it's for us to fucking follow. You know what I mean? You know, there's plenty of guys out there that got fucking, you know, hey, I do my own shit, and blah, blah, blah. And this works out very well for me. That's awesome. I'm very happy for you. I follow the fucking factory rule book. It's done fucking nothing but fucking help me in all my years of fucking doing it. So that's exactly it right there. 3/4 of an inch, 3/4 of an inch. That's us. Now, put on our spring bridge. At this point, don't fucking try and fuck around in this or that. We still have to make our steering head bearing adjustments. But right now, what we're gonna do is pack this fucking cavity full of grease. Okay, so just as you can see here, one good bump until you get a little bit of grease at the bottom, a little bit of grease at the top. Now you know, whole cavity's packed with good grease. Now when you service, it's only going to take a couple of pumps. Obviously the first time you end up going through a half a jar of fucking head bearing grease, but it's well worth it in the end because like I said, now every time you go to service this bad boy, it's only going to take a handful of fucking pumps to swap this fucking shit grease through the bearing and out into fresh grease line. So now we're setting up the bearings, the rocker bearings on the lower rockers. So to do so, you have to basically measure the swing. Okay, so measuring the swing on these bad boys is basically what they're talking about here is so this here rear bearing is on, this here rear pivot is on the spherical bearing. You put it together. So what we want to do is kind of preload the spherical bearing, not bouncing around like this, right? So we got to set it up. So lube the inside of the bearing race, and then she goes. Now, this is where you get your torqueometer. All right, and basically what we're doing here is, so we gotta load the bearing, then we're gonna lock this guy down, torque it to spec, right? We're just tightening it up here just to give you guys a show. Basically how this is done, all right? Just so you can see how to check the swing. So to check the swing, down here, you're looking for 30 inch-pounds swinging both ways. So you see how we got just a little over 25. We're going to want to just loosen that guy up just a little bit, and just until we get to a full swing of, once you get your achieved swing, you're then going to torque this guy down while holding this guy, using your trusty crow's foot. Try not to fuck your shit up. And you're gonna bolt this guy in here. You're gonna torque this back. And that's how you get your proper setup down here for your rocker bearings. We set up the upper steering head bearing, preload, and then we'll get this pig back together and see how she bounces up and down. You and Sammy got a fucking lights on?
Lights on, yes.
Fuck. You disgust me.
Going this way, I'm gonna stay this way.
Well, yeah, you and Lady Gaga, fucking both going this way.
To the end.
To the end. Because it's a fucking screw there, piss knuckles.
Is that what it is?
Is that what it is?
You fuck. Seriously, bro, you can't chill.
Go to the other side. I don't want you
Can you hold that so it doesn't?
I don't want to smell you, huh?
Then I'm staying.
There, fuck out of the way.
Then I'm staying.
You want to run over to hold the other side there, right? Let's
Well, you told me to go away.
to the other side.
Oh.
No, now you can fuck it. Now you can fuck it, okay? Because now you've upset me and you make me sick. Big